So let's do a kind of a wrap up of FMX Family Medicine Experience, AFP, in San Antonio. Alex, go first. What was your impressions of that experience and being on our social media team, which is probably the best part of the whole thing?
That was by far the best part, is being on the social media team. So I had the honor and the privilege. I feel like I am a neophyte among social media demigods working with you two, but it was a blast. I had so much fun. The Congress delegates for about 3 days, 4 days, 3.5 days. A lot of fun, great energy there. The FMX was first time I was actually stayed the entire conference. I usually had to go a day early or a few days early. This time I stayed all the way until Saturday, which was tough to be gone for a whole week from my family, but it was completely worth it. I had so much fun. I went to probably 7 or 8 different workshops. I learned a bunch, got some CME, tweeted out. I like to live tweet my lectures and kind of take notes in public, which is always pretty fun. I think more people need to do that. Connecting with people at different lectures, just who I had never met before. And then it was actually funny. I was walking down the hallway and I saw one of my colleagues who I graduated from medical school with almost 10 years ago, who I hadn't seen for 10 years. And I randomly saw her in the hallway at FMX. So that was pretty cool for me. San Antonio was a very cool city. I'd never been there before. A nice little Riverwalk area there where people can go have restaurants and dinners. And I went for a couple of great runs. I ran past the Alamo. I took a selfie at the Alamo as well. I think that's my favorite post from the whole week. So it was fun. It was fun.
All right, Kim. So part of your remarks, you could talk about some of your special interviews that you had during the week.
Well, I was really excited to be one of the social media ambassadors. I mean, it was such an amazing experience to do the daily live Facebook events with Mike. That was really a highlight of the week. Being able to have our upstage front seats to be able to tweet out from the meetings live, to see this guy. And Dr. Deepak Chopra, to be part of that daily experience that we have, and to really hear the stories from people from around the convention center. The Medscape sponsored physician well-being wall that was there was truly remarkable to see the things that made people strong. I don't know if you guys saw that and read some of the things that were written. It had, what makes you strong, and people putting, their family, their faith, their friends, whatever it was. I remember Mike put golf, which I think is remarkable because, like, if I play golf, like, I just make holes in the grass. It's really not very pleasant. But, hearing those stories really encouraged me and refreshed me to realize that what we do every day makes a huge difference in the lives of our patients, and it was really exciting. I have to tell you a really funny story, though. I was at the airport, and you meet people at the airport who are at the meeting as well. There are thousands of us at this conference, and there was an amazing 2 family physicians that were from Hawaii, and they were amazing. And I asked them, what was the most interesting thing that they thought in terms of stuff that they got at the exhibit hall, or what they thought was the really neatest thing. And they said the socks. Like, this was apparently the hottest item at the expo hall, was everybody wanted the socks. And then
what?
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Socks?
I know. And so I was like, well, were they special socks? And she was like, no, like, there was this huge line for the socks, and they go up to get the socks, and they're like, well, are these special socks? And the exhibitor was like, no, they're just socks. And I was just like, oh my goodness, all these people lining up for socks. But it was really interesting to hear her perspective and her joy and laughter from that moment, because they realized how silly it was that they had spent this time, but it was good because they were able to reflect on all the different things they had learned, and they were in line with other doctors and talking with them and just communing and having that moment of silliness in some way to reflect on the joy of family medicine, the things that we do every day for our patients. I thought that was kind of funny and neat. Just one of those crazy things.
We should have done a story on that. We should have filmed people in line and be like, hey, what's up with the socks? You know, can you give us an insight? Like, why is the socks? I mean, we missed the story there, man. I
Was
apologize to the audience about that.
was there like a huge letdown once they got the socks and realized there was nothing special? Were they all like angry? Like, that's it, I quit, I'm out of
No,
here.
no, I think they were still really excited that they got socks. I mean, it was, really interesting. So I thought, that's kind of something neat to do for next year. Put it in my mind back there that socks are a hot item. It's really kind of funny. So I think that's definitely a question I want to ask, people as they're going into the expo hall, like what little thing did you get that makes you want to go to that booth, kind of question. It's kind of interesting to see where people go in the expo hall. I loved, seeing the mariachi singers that they band and the different expo celebration opening. That I thought that was really amazing. And the celebration on Friday night, of the highlights of the week, where we really get to celebrate with all our different doctors. And they had artists that raised money as well for hurricane relief. That I don't know if you saw it, but painted the Beatles, like the four faces of the Beatles, Andy Warhol style, and flipped it upside down, and it was like the Beatles. And they were able to raise a significant amount of money from that event. So that was kind of a really cool thing that they had that week. And we're really excited about next year in New Orleans, and hopefully we'll see everybody there.
I'm just excited to go eat in New Orleans. I'm not going to lie. I mean, Cajun is like one of my favorite foods. So if no other reason, I'm going to New Orleans and just like pig out all week long. It's going to be amazing.
And Kim, you want to talk about that? You want to preview, because it hasn't been released yet, your very special conversation with Dr. Matos.
Well, I have to say, it is 60th anniversary. I don't know if you can see this or if it's reversed or not. That's the 60th anniversary for the Puerto Rico Academy this year. But even more, while we were at FMX, we got to meet Dr. Angel Matos, and I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, Angel Matos. And he is one of the oldest members of the Academy. I don't know if he's the oldest, I'm not sure, but he's definitely one of the members of our Academy who's been to our FMX meeting the most, and Congress of Delegates. I think he's been to over 50, was it 56, Mike? Was it 56 meetings?
I think so. Yeah, it was 55 plus. I know that.
And he was celebrating his 99th birthday this year, and is hoping to come back next year to New Orleans to so we can celebrate his 100th birthday and his 57th FMX meeting. But to hear his story, the reasons why he went into family medicine, the joys that he has had taking care of patients through many generations. It was a real joy, and I can't wait to see that interview. I really hope that we get to see that, because there are certain things that we can really treasure and really learn from someone with that much experience and love for family medicine.
Yeah, it was fascinating for me to hear the history and the stories he was saying. And when you were talking with him, he seemed to have a joy in his eye, talking about the past, talking about things he used to do as far as a clinician and some of the advocacy things, and a little bit of a history of the Congress, a little bit of a history of, of family medicine. And I think we need that, unfortunately. I think we need more of that. We don't get enough appreciation, enough sharing of our own history. I mean, obviously family medicine has not been around as much as other specialties, but I think we need a better, or at least I need personally, a better appreciation of our history, because we need to look back before we can look ahead.
Knowing our history and the lessons that we've learned from history, that quote where, you don't want to repeat it kind of thing. If you don't know history, then you're going to repeat the mistakes from the past kind of thing. It's so important. And hearing Dr. Matos and hearing his stories really brought home to me how every day as family physicians around the country, around the world, we have so much privilege and honor, you know, in some way to be able to take care of families, to hear their stories, and to be a part of their extended family to take care of them. And you could see the twinkle in his eye, the joy had when he talked about family medicine. It was truly special and remarkable. And I hope that many people get to see that that interview, and that we get to hear more of the stories. The stories that are coming from Puerto Rico right now are amazing. They're heartbreaking but inspiring, and I hope that we can bring those stories to you, both in Facebook updates and in more Facebook Live programs, that we can actually bring people who are there to you to talk about what it's been like for them and how we can help them. So for everybody out there that's watching, thank you so much. Please share our links so that we can get those generators to our doctors in Puerto Rico.